Welcome back to another episode of The Light from the Inside, a podcast show dedicated to sharing the beautiful testimonies of how God works in our lives as experienced only in the Light of the World Church. I am your host, Leo Fontes, and on today's show I have Ruby Gutierrez as our special guest, who is not actually a member of the Light of the World Church, but after having worked side by side with some of the church members, she appeared to be very happy, and I thought how great it would be to invite her on the show so that she too can share her experience with our listeners and also give her a chance to share a little bit about what she does to help others in her community. Ruby works for a foundation called A Greater Hope, and I'll let her tell you what it's all about, but they are currently located in the cities of Victorville, Barstow, and Banning, California. I will tell you that A Greater Hope is a nonprofit organization, and they're doing great things to help children, youth, and families in and around the Inland Empire and high desert areas. I had the pleasure of meeting Ruby during the event hosted by A Greater Hope, and our brothers and sisters from the Light of the World Church in Victorville were there to lend a helping hand, and it's what we'll be discussing in this 14th episode of The Light from the Inside. For those of you listening, I invite you to subscribe and follow The Light from the Inside in your favorite podcast app and in YouTube, which is being produced by Light and Fortitude Productions, found in Facebook and YouTube, with lots of other beautiful Light of the World content, of which I invite you also to visit and follow. With that, Ruby, we are ready to begin. So first of all, I want to say welcome to the show. I'm very thankful that you accepted my invitation to connect and share what you and A Greater Hope are doing to help others in your community, and how the Light of the World Church members have recently gotten involved to support your organization's efforts in being that link for many families, leading to a better quality of life.
Yes, first of all, Leo, I really want to thank you and the Light of the World, because you guys have been amazing. The help and the impact you guys have in our community is very uplifting. I don't know how I would have gotten through the day with that event without you guys.
Yeah, well, that's obvious. That's nothing of from me. I was only there that day taking pictures, but kudos to all our brothers and sisters there in Victorville.
Yes,
who
definitely.
From my understanding, they've been out to your place multiple times.
Yes,
to help you out.
I've been reaching out to them every time, and gracefully you guys have always accepted, and you guys have came down and came through for us, and I'm so glad you guys are so close by, because
That's
I've
awesome.
had the pleasure of speaking with multiple of your representatives, and you guys are all amazing.
That's awesome. So happy to hear that. So Ruby, as I mentioned to you on the day of that event, The Light from the Inside is a podcast show where up to this point, I've only had members from the Light of the World Church, where I've invited them to come and take a look back at the footsteps of their life, sharing how the church and its doctrine has impacted their lives and families, resulting in life-changing and life-improving results. But you are the first on the show that will give testimony not actually from the inside, quote unquote, as I like to say, as a member, but rather as an individual outside of the Light of the Church who was pleased to see how the church members, as you said, came through for you during your time of need. So to get this started, I'd like to first ask you to share what it is exactly you are doing at A Greater Hope and how this organization is helping people literally of all ages. So if you can, please share with our listeners what A Greater Hope is all about.
So my name is Ruby. I am an office manager at A Greater Hope. We're a foster care adoption agency. And yes, you're right. We do service Barstow, Victorville, and Banning areas, all San Bernardino County. And most of our children are from our Victorville office. We have about over 200 children just in our Victorville office alone.
Wow.
So the community reaching out, and for us to be involved with the community as well as the community to be involved with us is extremely important. And that is one of the reasons why we are so inspired by all of your help and how you guys have been so amazing.
Yeah, I was there that one day, and just like I said, just taking pictures of the event and the brothers and sisters working. And everyone was just nonstop, from the oldest one there to the youngest one there. that was there volunteering their time to help, both from the church and from your team. And your guests or the people that were there to on the receiving end, they were nonstop, and it was a beautiful sight to see how that was able to come together. And it looked like a big success to me.
It was an extreme success. And every time that we fear that things are not going to go the way they're planned, they come out even better. So it's definitely something that we are grateful for. The response from the community and from our resource parents was amazing.
That's beautiful.
This was something that was put together very last minute. We had a huge donation from Santa Claus Inc. and a couple other donors, and we wanted to help out our community as well as our resource parents. And that is just one of the many events that we do throughout the year for our families. And most of these events, we get to see, especially with the pandemic going on, we had not gotten to see our kids come in. So it was great to see the impact that we have on our kids still.
Yeah.
And even though we've been doing through Zoom and things like that, it's just not the same to see a smiling face when they come in. And when they recognize you and they remember, hey, we haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
So it is great to see that impact. And I was glad that you guys were able to at least witness just a very little part of what we do.
Yeah. It's always great to see the kids' eyes light up when they see something that, whether it's a toy or something, a food item, or a snack or whatever. It's great to see them, just light up like if it's Christmas, because that's what it looked like there.
Yes.
It looked like a Christmas giveaway. So speaking of other things that you do, I saw on your website that you help with foster care, adoption, supervised visitations, and behavioral health. But in a Greater Hope's Facebook page, I discovered the organization also helps with military families. What is it that you do with the military families? How do you help them out?
We do have a lot of resource parents that are from there. So we do like to make sure that we are always helping them as well as our community, and anything that we can do to help them, whether it's providing them with beds or cribs or things that they may need, we make sure that we always make an effort to seek through our donors and see what they could provide or what they can help with, and we make sure that we make it come to life.
That's beautiful. It must be a good feeling to be that resource, being able to be in that position to help others. It's got to be a very satisfactory feeling at the end of the day.
It is. I truly do love what we do. I think it is amazing, and you get to see a different way or a different perspective of things.
Yeah.
Even when you involve different parties, different families, even your own family, as my own kids come and they help and they volunteer, they get to see things that they don't see on a normal basis, that things that unfortunately sometimes we take for granted.
Yeah.
They get to see that it's not that way, or it's not that easy for others. So
yes,
that is pretty amazing.
Yes. And what I saw there that day was I saw every race, I saw every age, and I saw everyone, just as there was no difference between anyone. It was beautiful to see. I understood you also help out with taking in a lot of phone calls, and I want to ask, what are some of the greatest needs that the organization is seeing, in case any of our listeners might be interested in helping out?
Well, like I said, we do have different events during the year, and each event is to service the needs of our children. For instance, right now, August 2nd, we will be hosting our back to school event. Kids come into the facility. A lot of times they don't have much. They come in, they don't have clothes, shoes, even a blanket or things that they can call their own. So when we look for donations, it's pretty much anything a child can use or want is always welcome. Right now, like I said, we're working with our back to school event. We are trying to gather up to more than 200 backpacks so that we can provide for all of our families, all the children in our families. Obviously, with that comes into markers, pencils, school supplies, school utensils, and things like that. So that is always welcome. For Christmas, we try to make sure that kids can come in. We usually have a huge event for them where everybody in that home will walk away with a gift. And
that's nice.
Sometimes they get to pick it. Sometimes we ask for wish list, and we'll go through Amazon, and Amazon has one simple wish for us where you can buy certain gifts for the kids throughout the year for their birthdays. We have donations that come in that each child for their birthday gets a birthday bag, and we try to make it age appropriate. And you have to remember that these kids are from the age of 0 to 18. They are coming into our facility, and they're from the ages that range from 0 to 18. So it's mesmerizing what sometimes these kids consider a blessing.
Yeah. And just as simple as item or items will make a world of difference, even in their academics.
Yes.
Well, I read briefly about how Mrs. Eva Ford started the organization and how she was inspired and determined to help others not suffer starvation as she and her siblings did from your website. She vowed she would stop that suffering for other children, that being her single goal, to help children. And since then, she has launched 4 different nonprofit organizations with this sole purpose in mind. And it's what I witnessed during the recent Grab and Go free giveaway event where the Light of the World Church was present. Can you tell our listeners now what the Light of the World Church members did and how they helped you at the organization in support of this noble cause?
Yes. We had them come in. Usually setting up is definitely something that we challenge ourselves, because it becomes something that could last 3 to 4 hours. It's an all-day event for us that are there. Yeah. So you guys came in early in the morning, like it was 7:30 when I got a knock on my door, and wow. Never in a million years did I expect you guys to be there that early, but it was definitely a blessing in disguise, because wow. We had a whole year of donations that we were not able to give out. So we waited for that specific event to give them out.
Oh, wow.
So you guys came in, and you guys assisted with pulling out every item from pretty much 3 different suites, and helped them lay out tables, lay out different rugs so that we can just display open boxes, and making sure that everything was put out so that when the families came in, they were able to just see what it was. If they'd like it or they needed it, they would take it with them. There was no reservation. So pretty much you came and looked at what you needed, and it was yours, from food donations to water to supplies to school supplies to anything you can think of. Pretty much it was our grab and go event. So you guys helped with the setup with the whole day of the event. You guys assisted loading things into people's cars, making sure that the kids were there to just pretty much do a helping hand and everything. And then after the event was over, it was a total success, because it was supposed to end at 3. Everything pretty much was over and done with by I want to say 2:00. And you guys still helped with picking up, sweeping, breaking down boxes, and making sure everything got thrown in the dumpster. So it was definitely something we had not seen in a while. And it is great to know that you guys are there, and that you guys have came to our rescue on more than one occasion.
Yeah, I got there a little late because of I never expected so much traffic going up there from down here. And man, I got there, I think, an hour late than what I was scheduled to arrive. But even at that hour, there was tons of stuff out there, and everyone was just like ants out there, just on both sides, arranging and setting up, like you said, and pulling out new stuff or making the stuff available in the boxes, because everything I saw was literally brand new, and everyone on the receiving end was going through them just as fast, and it was awesome. I know for a fact that there were younger children from our team, from our church, that wanted to also go and help, because it's something we always see. The children always like to get involved just with their older siblings and their parents, and it's always a fun family event to be able to do those kind of activities. And they were saddened because they had to stay on that trip, but it was something beautiful to see. And again, no credit to myself, because I was only there taking pictures to capture it all. But praise God that our brothers and sisters were able to help you and the organization out, and everyone there on the receiving end, to facilitate that and streamline it for you all. It was nice to be in that position and help you guys out.
It is really beautiful to see how your community has came in and helped us. Like I said, on more than one occasions, you guys have came to our rescue, and to see the chemistry you guys have together, and to see not one, but tons. I had just the other day, you guys came in and I had to unload a huge shipment from a donation from Staples, and you had 12-year-old little girls to 18. And when I saw the truck, I was like, oh my goodness, not in any way I'm going to be able to do this. And here comes an army of 12, 15, 16-year-old girls unloading a huge truck that never in a million years I could have gotten done without them. And just to see how quickly, and it's amazing to see how you guys, how your chemistry helps you guys just get things done.
Well, I think the credit that we have to give to the unity that we enjoy on a daily basis, it all goes back to the international director of our church, who is the apostle of the Lord Jesus Christ, our brother Naasón Joaquín García. It's through the doctrine that we hear and learn through his preaching that has, it's at the core of everything you see and have witnessed and have enjoyed and have felt that great appreciation for it. He's at the core of all of it. His teachings have taught us to, unite and look out not only for our own, but for all of those in our community, teaching us to be, those good Christians, and at the same time, as almost an automatic result of good citizens, in our communities. And so that's I think is the result of what you've been enjoying there in Victorville, and I trust it will continue, because for us they're blessings. For us it's an opportunity, even though I don't know this, but even though maybe none of them took the time to say anything about the church, maybe they did. But just being there is giving testimony. What you witness is giving testimony. There's something special that unites us, and something special that moves us. And that testimony alone is what we hope and pray will, in a creative way, lure others to come and discover for themselves, what is it? What is it that why are you guys so united? And so, on behalf of the Light of the World Church, our prayer will be that the Lord bless you and reward you for sharing this testimony of how the church's members practicing of the doctrine learned at the Light of the World Church impacted your life, and even the lives of others there, and the organization and those receiving from it are benefiting from it. And on behalf of the Light of the World Church, I would also like to invite you, Ruby, to come and visit us someday there in Victorville at the House of Prayer, where they gather in the city of Victorville, as I do with all of our listeners, just to get to know us a little better, with no commitment, no obligation, just to get to know us a little better. Come and see and experience firsthand, without any obligation whatsoever, what the Light of the World Church is all about, and how we too, through the doctrine as taught to us by the Apostle Lord, as I mentioned, is also providing for a better quality of life to all who welcome and embrace it with regard to the doctrine, Besides going to a Greater Hope's website and Facebook page, is there a good number for any listener to call for more information?
Yes. We have our Victorville office number, which is the 760-2433-999 number. And that is, we're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 p.m.
The great thing that you have going on there, Ruby, with the organization. How long have you been there?
I've only been there 2 years. I moved up to the high desert about maybe 3 years ago in 2017. And I was fortunate enough to be able to be part of their family. And I consider myself very, very lucky.
That's good. That's good. It's a great thing you guys have going on there. To think of those 200 kids, you said, where would they go without that resource being there? Because it is hard to find that type of help.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was great witnessing those with perhaps a certain level of need, Ruby, come and take freely what others made possible and available to them. And it's similar to what we at the Light of the World Church are doing in a spiritual sense, because through all the hardships we as humans experience in this life, there is nothing in this world that can bring a life-changing peace and hope to our hearts and souls and lives like the doctrine of Jesus Christ. The Light of the World Church is not just another Christian church, but rather we are the Church of Jesus Christ, founded on His doctrine and God's Word that He has given and reveals unto His apostle, our brother Naasón Joaquín García. We pray that someday God will grant you the opportunity to learn more about Him and all the good things that He has done and continues to do for all the people of all ages from literally all around the world. Again, for that reason, Ruby, on behalf of the Light of the World Church, I'd like to invite you to visit us at our temple there in Victorville at 15647 Village Drive, Sundays at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m., and any evening at 6 p.m. from Monday through Saturday, just to get to know us a little better and what the Light of the World Church is all about. May God bless you and reward you for allowing us this interview, for sharing your experience with the Light of the World Church members, and for hearing these words of invitation for you and all your loved ones. Ruby, is there anything else you'd like to say before we disconnect? Anything maybe I didn't provoke or pull out of you?
No, just once again, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity of being able to share such a wonderful experience. You guys are definitely a blessing in disguise, and I really want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We are definitely appreciative of everything you guys have done for us, and I'm glad to be able to witness that and hope to continue working with you guys.
Yes, well, I know, we can see it on the faces of the brothers and sisters. They're happy to be there too, and the youth. I'm sure that the young girls you saw there, I'm sure none of them you saw complaining at any time, because it's stuff we enjoy, But that will be it for now, Ruby. May the Lord reward you for all that you're doing to help others in your community, to bring change and hope into their lives. And may God pay you again for allowing me this interview to share it with the world.
Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless.
All righty.
To thank you for listening to this podcast, I say to you now, may the Lord reward you and bless you for having done so. I am Leo Fontes, the executive producer of The Light from the Inside, and with music provided by Javolta Productions. I welcome all comments and reviews and encourage you to subscribe to and follow The Light from the Inside podcast show to hear additional testimonies of the life-changing experiences from those of us on the inside of the Light of the World Church, and at times from those on the outside, like we heard today from Ruby Gutierrez. For more great content, visit Light and Fortitude Productions and TLOTW.org, and may God bless you for hearing this message.